Hi everybody, Christina here and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be making a Valentine's Day banner. I had recently made a banner for my niece who just had her first baby for the baby's room, so I wanted to do one for my craft room for Valentine's Day. I'm using the Lawn Fawn Stitched Party banner die set, and I'm pretty much using all of the dies from this. For the banner, this is the largest banner piece. I am die cutting this on some canvas, kind of canvas-like material that I picked up at Joann's. It doesn't cut completely through, but it does just enough where I can just take my scissors and kind of fix it up myself. I die cut 6 of these so that I can go ahead and use these. I'm going to do the sentiment love, and then I want to do additional banners on each end. So here what I'm doing is just die cutting, or just taking my scissors and cutting right along that edge. It does leave an impression of the die piece onto the material, and it did pretty much cut most of it. Just the sides, for whatever reason, didn't cut. It's not anything wrong with the die, it's just the material, because I went ahead and made sure it die cut onto some paper. So it's just the material. So that's my banner. Like I said, I die cut 6 of those. And then I took the smaller banner piece and die cut some pattern paper. This is pattern paper from the Words of Love by Cartabella. And I picked out 6 different pieces of this pattern paper to use on my banner. So I'm just going to go ahead and die cut that. And like I said, these are just a little bit smaller than the original banner piece, which is the one I did on the canvas. So I went ahead and die cut all of those. And then I'm going to go ahead and do my final piece of, or actually I have a lot of die cutting today. I'm die cutting the circle, the stitched circle that comes in that set. I did 6 of those onto some Vintage Cream cardstock by Paper Tray Ink. And I die cut all of those. And then I'm going to take the heart from that same die set and die cut 2 of those onto some red and white polka dot paper that is also from the Cartabella collection. And while I have that out, I'm also going to take some Paper Tray Ink dies. These are the modern uppercase dies, and I die cut the word love onto this pattern paper. And then I also die cut this onto some black cardstock, which I'm going to use as kind of a shadow piece for the polka dot ones. So once I have those all die cut, I'm going to play with some of my Lindy Stamp Gang Glimmer Mist. I used to be on the design team many moons ago, so I have lots of their sprays. And I'm taking some of these mulberry flowers. These I ordered, again, a long time ago. They're very small. They're just paper flowers that I ordered from a place called I Am Roses, which is in Thailand. So it takes a little while for that stuff to come in, but they are absolutely worth the wait. And I'm just going to spray these flowers with my Lindy Stamp Gang. I'm using, the color was Bubblegum, and I just sprayed that on there, and it gave such a beautiful shimmer to those flowers. I'm going to take all of my little pieces now and start putting them together. I'm going to do my love letters and my 2 hearts, and I'm going to be layering those onto the black cardstock, and I'm kind of offsetting that a little bit just to create little shadow, which helps then make it pop up from the stitched circle. So it kind of gives it a little dimension and makes it kind of pop a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and do all of the letters for my sentiment or my banner piece here. And once I have those all done, I'm going to slowly start putting this together. So there was a lot of die cutting in this one, but it was totally worth all of the die cutting and all of those little pieces, putting them together. So once I have all those letters put together, I'm just going to use the same pen I used to put them together, which is my Zig 2-way glue pen. This is the one that has a little bit of a ball point to it, kind of like a pen. One of my favorite ways to adhere all these little tiny pieces. So I'm going to take those letters and all those hearts and adhere them down to the stitched circles. And then I'm ready to start putting my banner together. I laid out my 6 pieces of canvas, and then I'm kind of deciding what order I want my pattern paper to go from. And these are all the different patterns I picked from that paper collection. I'm also going to go ahead and put some lace on the top of the smaller banner, and that's a way to, one, hide the little holes that punched out because I'm using all of those layers, and then also gives it a nice little decorative piece. And then I'm laying out all of my letters in the stitched circles, and then I'm also trying to decide where I'm going to put my flowers. So each of those flowers have a little wired edge, and what I like to do is I take my paper piercer and wind that around to kind of give it a little curlicue. And then I have that sticking out from the side of my flower, and it gives a nice little added touch to that. So all I do is just wrap that around a couple of times, and then I'll play with it to get it to the way I want it to look. And now it's time to go ahead and start putting everything together. I'm just going to move everything off to the side, and I'm just going to show you really how I put together one of the pieces of the banner. I'm using my hot glue gun so that I make sure everything sticks together really nicely, especially with the fabric. You want to make sure that everything's adhered nicely. And I'm just going to go ahead and take the heart and adhere that to the stitched circle die cut, and then I'm going to go ahead and use my hot glue gun and put some glue on the back of that, and then adhere that to the center of my pattern paper banner piece. So once I have that adhered down, I decided that I wanted to add a little trim to my banner, and I'm going to be doing the trim just for two reasons. One, to hide the little holes that are in the banner piece, because that technically should be used for its own banner, but I wanted to use it as a layer part, so I'm just going to throw some hot glue down on there and then adhere the lace. Just be careful because the hot glue will come through the lace and burn your fingers, and we don't want burnt fingers. Learned my lesson a couple of times after doing this, burning my fingers. And then I'm just going to go ahead and trim those ends off so that they're right up against the banner piece. And that just creates a really cute layer to my banner. I'm going to add some of the hot glue onto the back of that, and then I'm going to adhere that to my canvas piece. Now, just be careful when you're putting this down. You want to really push down it hard so it kind of flattens out the glue and you don't end up with that weird bumpy kind of thing to it. So I just stick it on there and then take my hand and push it right on top and push down on it so that I know that glue had flattened out. The last thing I'm going to do to this piece is add my little flower, and then I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of the banner pieces together. Once I have those banner pieces together, I'm going to take some of the some cream colored tulle that I picked up, and I'm going to, there's all the pieces of the banners all put together now. And I kind of have it laid out to how I want it to be. Oh, before I do the tulle, I need to put my eyelets. Now, because I'm using a canvas, normally you don't have to do this if you're just doing pattern paper or cardstock. But because of the canvas, and I wanted to make sure those holes were easy to run the tulle through, so I went ahead and used my crocodile and some eyelets. These are from, both of the things are from We Are Memory Keepers, and I've had them forever. I've had them from back when I was doing my mini albums, and I just kind of use that as a way to keep the hole from the material fraying while I was running the tulle through. So I just have my tulle. It's an inexpensive tulle. It's a cream colored, and I'm just going to go ahead and go from the front of the eyelet to the back, and then I'm going to bring it around to the other side from the back side. So once I've tried to get this first piece through, it took me a second to kind of get my fingers working there. And then I'm just going to go ahead and slide it through from the front to the back, and then the next one is from the back to the front, so that the tulle runs along the back side of the banner. I'm just going to pull that down, and then I'll go ahead and string on the rest of my pieces. While I'm running the last piece through here, I just want to mention that if you want to keep your banners from fraying the canvas piece, you might want to do some multi-matte medium just to keep the edges from fraying. I decided that I wanted to add a little something extra to each side, and it also gives just this nice little decorative touch to it. So what I did was I took some seam binding, and this is seam binding, it's called Hug Snug seam binding, and this is a cream colored, and I've had this, again, something in my stash for quite a while. And what I did was I just cut a piece, then kind of wrapped it over the top of the tulle, and then took some of my Lawn Fawn trimmings cord, and I absolutely love Lawn Fawn trimming cord, and I see that there's tons of new ones coming out from the winter release of CHA, so I can't wait to get my hands on them. But anyway, what I did was I just took the cord and wrapped it around the seam binding as a way to hold the seam binding onto the tulle, and then tied that into a bow. Now it's not totally tied really tight, so you can still kind of move your banners back and forth and find the right place for it to be, like the spacing wise, when you go to hang it up. For whatever reason, it just kind of helps you get it all situated. So I just put one on each side of each of the banners. So once you have that all done, your banner is pretty much done. So this is what my banner looks like complete. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I hope you make your own banners, because I'm going to be making one now for every holiday for my craft room. Here's a picture of my banner as it's hanging up on my little wire display that I have right above my craft desk. The products used for today's video are linked below in the YouTube description and over on my blog. Here are a few more videos that I've recently done. If you want to check them out, you can just go ahead and click right on the screen. I'll also have them linked below in the YouTube description. And if you enjoyed today's video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and leave a comment. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe and you'll be updated for new videos. Thanks everybody for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video.